What's going on, everybody? Ryan in Sacktown here. A very disappointing first half. Kings trailed the Spurs 63 to 58. Uh, Kings just very slow. And what did we talk about in the pregame? We talked about the zone defense. What do the Spurs come out and do? They throw zone defense at the Kings and it trips them up. The Kings from the 3-point line, 5 of 22. That's 22.7%. They're shooting 43.8% overall. And the stat that Grant and I always talk about and harp on, and we look at first, is turnovers and assists. The Kings, 12 assists, 11 turnovers. 12 assists, 11 turnovers. That cannot happen. And between your starters, Domas and Fox, they combined for 10 points. So the Spurs have held them in check. I mean, we certainly would expect for Domas and Fox to get going. But, off the bench, pretty much the only production that we've gotten has been from Terrence Davis. Malik Monk was a late scratch for the game. So many reasons why the Kings are down right now. Julian Champagne for the Spurs, 20 points in the first half. What can you say about that? I mean, he's coming off the bench too. The Spurs starters, they don't even have, they have one guy. Excuse me, I don't think they even had a single guy in double digits. No, the Spurs starters, not a single player in double digits. Zach Collins, his length, giving the Kings trouble. He went out, looked like some type of finger injury. But even on the boards, Domas only had 4 boards in the first half, which is not like him. So let's get some of your thoughts in here. Grant will be here post game. For those wondering, I am going to be handling the halftime duties. Yeah, absolutely taking over. They never heard of him, to be honest with you. They need to put him on ice. That's what they need to do. That Golden One Center is packed right now, ready to explode, accept this team and celebrate this team. But unfortunately, just they're being outplayed right now. There's no other way to put it. I'm not sure where that came from. But you know what? Probably trust those two have a good relationship together. Yeah, Egan, definitely lazy passes. That is one reason, and big reason for the number of assists the number of the turnovers that the Kings have right now. Let's see. No shooting, no defense. Yeah. Giving up 63 points to the Spurs. That's a big number in the first half, especially when the Kings only put up 58. And again, I go back to the zone defense. The Spurs appear to be running like a 2-on-2, sometimes a 2-3 zone, and the Kings cannot run their regular offense against that. They've got to do some different stuff because it just does not work. And we're starting to see Domas is struggling against that type. That's the consistency that we're seeing when the Kings are being played, or they have to play against a zone defense, that Domas struggles, and that's exactly what's happening. I don't know if that was the most embarrassing, awful performance that we've seen. I would argue the first half in the first Portland game was probably worse. San Antonio is playing better than Portland played in that game. Glad to see Malik Monk is getting rest. So that's a good indication of what the Kings are going to do down this stretch. If anybody has as much as a little tightness, they are going to be on the conservative side and keep them out. I agree. Kings will be okay in the second half. And yes, go Aztecs. Rich, I've been trying to get a hold of you. And I was going to come to San Diego to come hang out for those games, but I couldn't get your information. Grant even told you. So, dude, we got to exchange information. We'll talk more about that you and I will talk about that offline. Lids, how you doing this afternoon? I don't like the way the Kings are playing. Need to come out. Kings team, start playing Kings basketball. Yeah. They do, but again, the problem is what they're doing on the offensive end. whenever the zone defense pops up, the Kings are turning the ball over. Look, they shot 22 3-pointers in the first half, and that's a pretty high number for the Kings. Usually the majority of their 3-pointers come in the second half when they're rolling. But they're taking the bait with the 3 ball. They're taking the bait, and that 3 ball is going to be there all game, but they've got to work it from the inside to the out. They can't just swing it around on the perimeter and take an open shot. That open shot's going to be there all game with the defense that San Antonio is playing. So we've got to start playing a different style of offense where your 2 corner guys coming up, somebody getting to the free throw line in the middle, breaking that zone down, which gives you 3 options and a cutter. So we'll see how they come out. Mike Brown, I'm confident he will make changes at halftime and adjustments and see how the Kings do. But they do need a big third quarter. We're one of the best 3-point shooting teams. San Antonio is one of the worst. But not tonight. It seems that way sometimes with some of these teams that aren't good 3-point shooting teams. When they play the Kings, sometimes they're able to get on a roll from the 3-point line. Let's go over some of the San Antonio numbers while we've got you here. So San Antonio shot 47.8% from the field in the first half. And yes, 3-point line, they were 50% from the 3-point line. 8 of 16. That is way too high of a clip. I would expect that to go down based on San Antonio's season numbers, but if the Kings keep giving them good looks, then who knows? Free throw line, they were 11 of 14 for 78.6%. Kings 11 of 13. That's pretty good, 84.6%. Rebounds, Kings were out rebounded by 6. So that's not like the Kings. The Kings should, and like I said, Sabonis only 4 rebounds in the first half. They're going to have to figure that out. Indeed, offensive rebounds, 9 of their 27, speaking of the Spurs, were offensive rebounds. So we need to limit second opportunities for them. They had 18 assists, guys, 18 assists against this Kings defense. That's a number the Kings should usually have. The Kings assist number, their magic number to win a game is usually 30. San Antonio already has 18. So looking at that and turnovers, San Antonio had 12 turnovers. So yeah, they were turning the ball over too, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say the Kings are forcing those turnovers per se. Those are turnovers that they're just making on their own or just making a bad decision. So, looking at this, the Kings need to have a good run to start the second half. This is one of the teams the Kings could explode on. However, they have to change what they're doing on offense. And that's going to mean Barnes. That's going to mean Herter. They have got to come up from the corners. They absolutely have to do it. And Keegan needs to do more than just sit around the 3-point line. He needs to start cutting to the hoop and make that zone move around. Big reason the Kings trail right now by 5 points, 63-58 at half. San Antonio on top. Kings bench production. Alex Len gave some good minutes to the Kings, not scoring, but he had 5 rebounds and was actually really 6 rebounds, 2 points, 1-on-1 from the field. Terrence Davis, the fill-in for Malik Monk because he was a late scratch, if you guys are just tuning in. He had 10 points, so he was the high scorer off the bench. Nothing from Lyles in only 3 minutes. A little odd that Lyles only got 3 minutes. Kessler Edwards gave some good minutes defensively, I thought. He only has 3 points. And then Davion Mitchell, no points off the bench. Still no Metu. So it looks like those minutes, as of right now, are going to Alex Len. Granted, Zach Collins is a little bit more of a matchup problem for Metu, so that could be part of it. Looking at our starters, Keegan Murray leads the way with 13 points. He's 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3-point line. We've got Harrison Barnes. He has 9 points. De'Aaron 7, So they between Sabonis and Fox only 11 points. And then Kevin Herter with 10 points. So still a lot of room for the Kings to get going with their starting unit. That's where it's going to have to come from in this game to at least extend this lead. And the Kings are also going to have a second player from the bench step up and get it going offensively. It cannot just be Terrence Davis. I am not sure. I'm going to that right now. Metu is terrible. He shouldn't play. Well, he hasn't been terrible. I'm not sure why you would think he has been terrible. That's kind of a bad take. Is Lyles going to be the one to get hot? I hope so. He should be. I mean, Lyles, he can shoot the ball, as we know, and he can also cut pretty well. He knows those lanes. The Kings have to come out and find lanes in that zone to beat. That's exactly what it comes down to. Sabonis is scared to shoot a 15-foot jumper. This man is given all kinds of space and he won't shoot. It's embarrassing. Okay, we're starting to use some really strong words here, guys. It's from the same person, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Embarrassing. Come on, it's not embarrassing. Sabonis, he may be just trying to get a better shot. He can shoot that 15-footer. It's not his bread and butter. He would prefer the 3, but if his defender is giving him space, then he needs to get downhill and get to the hoop. Sabonis is one of those big guys that can put his head down. He's good with the ball and get the ball to the hoop and get some momentum, forward momentum going. But I fully expect for the Kings to turn this thing around. Hey, while we have a second, wanted to tell you about Bennett's. They are our sponsor. Bennett's, what an amazing restaurant. They got locations in Roseville, Sacramento, and a third one soon to come in Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. Go check them out. Premium cuts of steak. Today is actually prime rib day at Bennett's. Maybe you had brunch there. They have a mimosa special. But they've got great steaks, great seafood. Just an awesome menu, over 50 different types of wine. Go check them out. Brian Bennett, huge supporter of the show, huge Kings fan. It is one of our favorite places to dine. Tell them that Grant and Ryan sent you. Again, Bennett's locations in Roseville, Sacramento, off of Howe and Fair Oaks, and a third location soon to come in Rockland in the Blue Oaks Town Center. All right, guys, let's start getting some scores in here. How do you guys see this one turning out? Guys, the reality is with the Kings having the low assists and the high turnovers, and San Antonio shooting 50% from the 3-point line, being down only 5 is not a big deal. Should the Kings be down at all? No. This is a game that they should be winning probably by double digits, but that's not happening right now. And that's just something that we need to forget about and move on and act as if it's a new game starting in the third quarter. And I'm sure that's exactly what Mike Brown is starting to preach to that team. Let's see. Kings, 35 plus points, 3-game loading. Yeah, 3 games loading. I know. Let's see. You guys are going to give me your scores or what? I'm looking for your scores. Kings be going lights out in the third quarter. I sure hope so, Amar. I sure hope so, and I think they will. Exactly. Don't forget, Craig Popovich, great coach. Never underestimate him. The league is starting to see the Kings do not, regardless. I know Grant said the Kings won by 40 against the zone defense in Portland. The league's starting to see this team struggles against the zone defense, so they have got to get it going. All right, scores starting to come in. Thank you guys for putting those out. Let's see. We got Kings 113-107. My boy Jay, Kings 126-116. Amar says Kings 122. Spurs 110. Nate Dog 123-110. My boy MC 113-108. All right. Matthew, he has 115-108 Kings. We have 120 to 107 for Zachariah. Safe has Kings 111, or excuse me, 126. Spurs 111. Connor O'Kelly's Kings 119. Oh, so it goes the other way. Okay, 119, 110 Kings. I see what you did there. Justin, he's going high. So the Kings are going to have a close to 100-point second half. Oh, no, 132, 136. All right, guys. The game just restarted. Third quarter is underway. Thanks for joining the halftime show. Grant will be here at postgame, and I will be joining him for that. Thank you so much. And go Kings. Let's light the beam. Have a big